All right, here we are. Welcome to our Wednesday movement. I am Zoe Levine. Today we are going to play with. I want to help all of us get better at thinking outside of the box in terms of your own movement and play. And I talk about this a lot, the idea of movement as playful and not very this strict, oh, here's what Zoe said to do, this very fancy stretch, and it's very official. And I have to do it this specific way. So I hope that you found ways of, being more I don't know, easeful about all of those things and making it your own. But I do with music today want us to get even more, it might be even more silly in a way, and just encouraging you to think outside the box, not in a total free sprawl, but in a way that might still feel like a container that feels safe and feels like a way to explore rather than, oh my gosh, what is she making us do? That feels crazy. So with music again today, I'm just going to give us a series of little prompts to play with, and you'll find a place within those prompts that feel comfortable for your body. And it's just another chance to explore what does feel good in terms of stretching or moving. Let's start though with, I don't have necessarily a great song for this. I might just turn on the music anyway, and we'll just start with a shake it out sort of experience. So go ahead and stand up. We've done this a couple times in our time together. I am just gonna, let's see, fine. I'm on my brother's random new playlist. Good, so it's not gonna be super shake it out-y, but just something in the background to get us going. And I wanna make sure, let's see. If the music is at this level, can you hear the music and hear my voice? Okay, great. So standing up, just maybe start with one body part at a time. Like just find something, it's almost hokey pokey-ish, right? Just find something, it doesn't have to be up in the air, it can be all around. But maybe find one body part, an arm is good, and just shake it up. And we've talked about this as a great way if you feel like you just need a fresh start, like Etch-a-Sketch, right? You just been scribbling on that Etch-a-Sketch all day, try the other arm. You've been scribbling on it all day long, and you know what? You could use just a fresh, clean slate, a fresh start for mind and body. Shaking it out is one way to do it. You can get shoulder shaking in any way, shoulders, ribs. If you could shake your spine, could you do that? Bouncing and shaking are both kind of similar. Could you shake your legs? Maybe do one leg at a time, balancing on one leg, shake that one leg out. Depending what you can do at standing. It can be as big or as small as you like. It can be tiny. It could be huge if you really need a vigorous shaking. Try the other side. Shake it all out. If you bounce both legs to shake, right? You can shake your hips, bounce. As if you're trying to shake your muscles off your bones, right? If you feel how you can kind of shake your muscles off the bones a little bit, getting really loose and jiggly. Don't be afraid to jiggle, like the more jiggle, the better. And then see if you can do everything at the same time. I won't leave you here forever, but try to shake out all the things, including your head. Could you shake out all the things at the same time for a nice, we'll do 10 more slow count, shaking it all out. 10, 9, as vigorous as your body will allow, or 1 to 8, 7, 6, 5, bouncing is good, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and just stand still for a moment. In the stillness, just notice what that shaking gives you, right? Think of it as that Etch-a-Sketch, that I'm just going to clear the slate, shake things up. The energy is going to change. The vibration in your body is going to change. Just notice what you get after a little shakedown. Good. The next prompt that I'd invite you to do, I call it, it's like make up your own stretch. So you've got your skin, right? You've got your skin, it's surrounding everything else. Imagine that it's like a skin bag that you're trying to like stretch out in different ways, which is different than I'm going to do this running stretch that I learned in PE class, right? It's more like looking for ways to pull that skin bag, and anything goes. Literally anything goes. And how you find it is just through feeling. Like you're just feeling the different pulls that you can get in that skin bag. And when it feels good, you kind of keep like lean into that. Like, oh yeah, what's that? That's interesting. And you might make all sorts of weird shapes as you're trying to find that pull in your skin bag. But it's just looking around. It's just an exploration. You could stay in one spot. You could keep moving. There's spots that feel really interesting or good. Great. And you could do this if you're uncomfortable standing. You could do this sitting. You could do this. But I would encourage you to stand. There's more possibilities of stretching your leg, right? I mean, you could still do it in your chair. It's like where does that skin? Where does it feel good to kind of pull on that skin bag, right? So it takes your mind out of, I'm going to stretch this particular muscle right now. And it gets us more in kind of a fascial pull, exploring all the rainbows of possibilities. And bonus point, your body is going to know what it needs. It's going to find those spots that are just like, oh, wow, yeah. What is that? How long has that been? Right? So your body gets to do and find what it needs. And you really want to like look for all of the skin. Like if there's places that you haven't quite found a pull in every cranny, keep looking, right? You just look around. Try to find pulls for your legs, leg skin, and your hip skin, belly, your organs. And just knowing that all of it's allowed. You know what I mean? If I was like, am I doing this wrong? Is this stretch okay? Like, how does it feel? Does it feel lovely? Right? Good. And then from here, next prompt. So that's just a great one for, hey, I'd like more space in my body, but I'm not sure what stretches to do, or I don't know. You don't know what to do, and you have some music around, right? So that's useful. The next one is a little bit more, we'll call it stir the pot. You know, I'll get you moving, and then we'll do it. So kind of getting gooey or stirring the pot. So pick one thing. I'm just going to use my shoulder for a second to keep it simple. And just like, what if you just kind of stirred the pot or got really gooey with movement in that one spot for a moment? It could be through circles. It could be through just kind of wiggly anyway. And that image of stirring the pot, you know, if you're cooking for something for a while and it just sits there and there's that film on top that's a little, you know, it's not part of the rest of the fluid soup or whatever you're making. And so you stir the pot and just kind of mix it up so you don't have that layer of stickiness, right? Try another spot. And sometimes it's easier one thing at a time, right? So you're not overthinking it. You're just kind of feeling, right? That feeling, that's looking for sensations of gooiness that feel good. And if you have sticky spots, being really sweet and gentle with your breath, and maybe finding smaller gooiness around it, so you're not looking for hurt, you're looking for just gentle freedom. See if you can find your whole spine getting just a little bit gooey, as if like there's a little kind of tickle running along your spine that just made you a little wiggly, right? We talked about your spine needing that variability throughout all the vertebra. So just play for a moment. Let your breath kind of ride along the whole spine, all the way down to your tailbone. Just playing and getting gooey. If you're comfortable, trying to get a little soft and through your hips if you're in a place where that feels okay. Okay, I know not all over the office would feel comfortable, but we've come this far, might as well. Right, so letting your hips get a little bit gooey or circling, right? If it's kind of going off-roading feels like too much circle, like just circles. Again, I'm even doing some of this sitting down and able to get moving my legs and hips, but standing is even better. And it's just listening, like what feels nice, right? Is it low energy that feels nice? Is it big circles? Is it little? Is it all over the place? Just a few more moments of this with this moment. You could even think of, if you want to go crazy, you could think of all the things being wiggly and gooey at the same time. So this is definitely in the territory of no one's watching me and I'm just able to let my body move and listen and feel and get unstuck. And then the last little fun prompt that's just, again, another way to think outside the box and let your body do and explore things and experiences that it might not normally. So the silly and fun invitation here is to just play with getting as big as you can, just expanding your whole body, again, in whatever crazy way feels good, and then letting it be nice and small, like kind of getting a little bit small or low, and then just finding this huge expansion. It's like a good morning stretch on, I don't know, in a crazy way. And just kind of getting a little bit small or heavy or compact. And then finding just in a different way, right? There's so many ways to be big, but just taking up so much space, so much space in any way, and then kind of just making it a little smaller, getting nice and cozy, shrinking in, maybe a little hug around your own self. And then as big as humanly possible, looking for ways that that feels nice, right? Taking up space. And then getting all cozy and small for a second. And then taking up space. And getting all cozy and small. And last one, a big take up space. And then just take a moment and let your arms rest down by your side, maybe still standing. And in that same way that you checked in after doing your shaking, notice what you're feeling here, what feels different, allowing your body to do the things that it really wanted and that felt really nice. And kind of thinking outside of the box, right? We talk about getting out of, escaping those cages of everyday life anyway, but this is even outside of the box from what we've done so far. And just notice what feels different for you. Does it feel like you've created more space in your body? Is there a different kind of listening or awareness throughout your body? Does it help to feel like your mind has a little bit more space when your body has space, right? Maybe you're ready to make some of those decisions or to jump into the thing that you've been not wanting to do. So notice that kind of mental space and capacity as well. And then when you're ready, you can come on down to sit. And I know sometimes that can be a big ask for some people to kind of move in their own way. Did that feel okay? How did that feel? Was it enough of a container to feel comfortable?
I
Yeah.
thought it felt great, and I've been really struggling with like my back being very, very, very tense recently, and it just realized like sometimes I'll do stretches and I'm like, well, that didn't really help. But I think 20 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever we just did, it takes a little while to like limber up. and to kind of let some of that strain go away. It's not just like, oh, 2 minutes of stretches is going to do it.
Yeah. 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 And stretching kind of goes after different things. Sometimes in a lot of the work that I do, we have this kind of phrase or principle, you go indirect before direct. And a lot of times when we feel low back pain, we're like, we're going to do the low back stretch that gets right in there. And it's like stretching the thing. But typically your low back, when it's unhappy, it's not just because it's tight, it's because it's overworked and we're putting too much pressure and responsibility almost on this one part of our backs. So just stretching it that one time, like you're saying, it's like, this is not helping me. Like I'm still going to be doing all the same things you're asking me to do, and it's still too much on me. But when we can wake up the rest of the body and kind of get everybody else on board, there's a chance that we can give the back a break. And also that idea of motion is lotion. So that kind of hydrating effect on the tissue is great. If it really is sticky, just a stretch is just going to be like, I'm like pulling against something that's firm. But if you're warming it up, that warming up the taffy instead of just like trying to pull it harder, is a great way to go, and getting other parts of your body waking up. And it's not really, our low back hurts. It's not just about your low back typically. Right. So that's a really great observation and sensation to feel. And it applies to so many things across the board that we do. So that idea of when you're feeling sticky in just one spot, could you find ways to move and play the whole thing? And it's probably going to take some kind of pressure off that one area as well, as a simple tool that hopefully is fun and then serves your whole body and your mind. And, it's not just about the back anymore, which I love. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything before we get going? And we will address, Jenny, the one quick question too, because it applies with what we're doing here.
It just felt really good.
Great. Awesome. And so I just invite that, like, the movement doesn't have to be so regimented, I guess, and just that kind of open, like you do you, and it's going to be the best thing for you ultimately. And then when you need extra help in addition to that, like then I can come in and support more specific things. But there's so much that can be done with just sweet little movement breaks like this. And if this is fun for you, then do it. If it helps it to be fun or interesting, then do it. So one question that I'll end with, Jenny was asking, that whole winter thing where you start walking around with your shoulders up to your ears when it gets cold. And it's an obnoxious answer that I know that you you had it within you the whole time. It's the awareness that we're building. And so I always say, Jenny, you've heard me say this, and I'm going to say this for this too. It's like, once you're aware that you're doing it, you're already winning. So just the fact that you're asking the question, again, you're already winning. And how do you get out of it? I love this kind of work as the shake it out, the circle-y, the find a stretch, because it's a quick in to your body. So if you find yourself doing it, you could just think, drop it down. But there's also, you could kind of let your whole body do a little, it's like that shake it off. And we shake when we're cold on purpose because it helps warm us anyway. So if you want to kind of give your whole body that sense of like, yes, I'm cold, and then let it go, and you're going to, it's going to keep happening. It's a natural reaction to keep us warm. But if you let your body play with other ways of kind of shaking warm, or I'm just going to circle my whole body and kind of get warmed up and then let my shoulders rest. And it's easier to be aware when you kind of had that play with your whole body, or just relax your shoulders. But the whole body involvement is really a great way to go to.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, great questions. Thank you for sharing. We will not be together next week, so happy Thanksgiving. And then after that, we will continue to play with more questions, and we'll keep thinking outside the box, and then kind of bring it back and get back to our basics too, to make sure you keep those in your bag of tricks as well.
Thank you
So much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Happy
Thank
Thanksgiving
you.
for next week.
Yeah. Thanks, Janine.